Here's my audience. This is my speech number 4. My entertainment speech. Super entertaining. Okay. Sammy, will you go outside and tell Charlotte that it's time for dinner? Charlotte, it's time for dinner! How many times, or how many of you have ever experienced that kind of dialogue, or have been a part of something like that? It happens quite a bit in large families. My name is Sam Harris, and this speech is, I'm going to be talking about a little bit about growing up in Southern California in Orange Grove, and the different things that I experienced having a large family, and the funny things, hopefully. I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters. One of those sisters happens to be my twin, Charlotte, and she happens to be 20 minutes older than me. And if any of you know anything about twins, you'll know that 20 minutes is a pretty big gap between the first one and the second one. And so I think probably in my mind, Charlotte was my womb mate for 7 months. So I think probably in my little baby mind, I was probably thinking, hey, I still have 2 more months to go, and this is free food, and there's lots of room, and now that Charlotte's gone, I can stretch out, and why would I want to leave? But I didn't have much choice, and here I am today. I think in America, for some reason, women who have more than 5 or 6 children think that automatically that you have to homeschool your kids if you have more than 6 kids. And so I think my mom decided to follow that trend, and she had my dad build a renovated RV in the orchard next to our house, and that was going to be our schoolroom. But my mom wasn't the most lax homeschool mom out there. She didn't let us sleep in until 12 and just do our homework whenever. We woke up at 6 a.m. every morning and had a big family breakfast, and then we had family time with Dad, and then we decided to clean the house at 7 in the morning when you're 5 years old, and then it was school time. So by that time, I was just ready to crash and take my morning nap. But when recess was called, I was out of there. I think most of the time I had some kind of loin covering, because in my mind I was the modern day Mowgli from Jungle Book, and I never wore shoes, I never wore shirts, I was lucky if I wore some kind of underwear, and I just had fun in the orchards. And I would spend all day out there, and I wouldn't come back when my mom called, because I just would hide in the trees. And during the orange picking season, I would befriend all the Mexican orange pickers that would come out. And I remember on one occasion I came back and I told my mom that when I grow up, I want to be an orange picker. And for my birthday, I want a pair of overalls and rubber boots and an orange picker bag. And she would just look down at me and pat my head and say, maybe one day, Sammy. And I'm glad she said maybe, because my career options have changed quite a bit since then. So, and us, the 4 oldest kids, me, my twin, and our 2 older siblings, we were very adventurous children, but we were very danger-prone children as well. And having lots of room to roam around, you never know what's going to happen. I was the one that got hurt quite the most. My siblings would come in very often and be like, they would say to my mom, Sam hurt himself, Sam scratched himself, Sam cut his arm open, Sam stepped on a rusty nail, Mom, Sammy did this. And then one time they came in and they were like, so Mom, you know how like Sam's arm goes like this? Well, you know it's straight when you stick it out, but it's kind of like this now, and I just thought you should know that. And so, and my mom was very dramatic, and so she would scream, "Oh Jesus, I need stitches!" And only like 1/3 of the time I actually needed stitches. But I did need stitches on multiple different times. I busted my head a few times open, and we always went to the same doctor, and it was great. So the orchard was quite the place to get busted up. On one instance, one memory I have very, very to the forefront of my mind that I always remember is that one time me and my 3 older siblings and our neighbors decided to venture out into the dark forest, which was really just a certain part of the orchard that was darker because the trees were bigger and so there was more shade. And we went in there all being brave, and when we got in there, we found this orange fence, and on the other side of the orange fence was a geese farm. And so we thought in our minds that we were going to go on the other side of the fence, and we were going to collect these eggs from the mama geese, and then we were going to go back home and we were going to hatch them, and we were going to be proud geese parents. And so we did, but when we started climbing the fence, one thing we did not put into the equation was getting electrocuted. So we got shocked the whole way over, but we were very determined, and so we got the geese eggs with the mama geese trying to run at us. And if you've never experienced mama geese when they're angry, it's scary. So just FYI. And so we got back to the house with our geese eggs, and our neighbor, I still remember her name, Sarah Cornelius, she decided that, well, since mama geese sit on their eggs and keep them warm and hatch them, I guess we should do that too. And she hatched them all right, but just a little bit too early, and we did not get to take joy in being geese parents. So, in conclusion, there's a lot of great memories from living in that orchard and in that house. Sadly, though, when we moved out of that house, it was bulldozed due to the age of the house, and when we go back home to California, we still stop there at the orchard and we see where our house used to be, and we can go in the orchard and we can find our old forts and old things that just remind us that we used to live there. And all these memories come rushing back, and it's good to look back and just to see how I've changed over the years, even when I was very little. And the funny memories are still always at the forefront of my mind, and everything. We even have some of them on video and whatnot, and it's just a really good thing to have those childhood memories. So I hope you enjoyed this speech. Thank you.